Welcome to the first day of Unit 4. So Unit 3 is finished. Unit 3 covers all your derivatives, all your rules, exponentials, parametrics, all that stuff. If you're missing videos to that, you can just head to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Before we get started here, you need this worksheet in front of you in some capacity. So I put it in Canvas if you want to download it and print it, or I put it in OneNote under Content Library, Unit 4. So it's just here as a blank copy for your video today. Okay, here we go. So this entire chunk is actually about writing sentences. So we're going to verbalize our derivatives, and we're going to make sure that you understand what we're doing when we're taking a derivative and what it means. Because for so long it has been to you the slope of a tangent line, and that's still true, but we can use it inside of other applications, and that's where we're headed. So we're gonna write them in words. Okay, here we go. F of t is the number of centimeters of rainfall. So I'm going to underline units because it's important to use units. And then t is being measured in hours. Interpret the following. So F of t means the whole thing is being measured in centimeters. T is being measured in hours. Notice, I'm going to talk down to you a little bit, and I'm sorry in advance. Notice that the T is on the inside. So this number 10 that's on the inside for letter A is a T value, and those are measured in hours. So then this output, this outside value, would be measured in centimeters. So this statement says, this function notation says that, let's see, fallen since midnight. So 10 hours after midnight, 3.1 centimeters of rain have fallen. The end. Okay, so a couple things to pay attention to. Every time I wrote a number, I had units next to it. So I have a number and units next to it. That's going to matter everywhere. If you don't have units, they won't give credit. Okay, I'm going to jump to C. This means inverse. And what I need you to know about an inverse is that you switch your input and your output. So this input is now centimeters. This output is now being measured in hours. So my only job as a mathematician writing sentences is to make sure my units make sense. Like, it would be nice if you used correct English and you spelled things well, but it doesn't matter that much. So I'm about to write a kind of strange sentence that if you were in an English class, you would write it differently. But as a mathematician, I don't care. I always talk about my input before I talk about my output, because as a mathematician, that's what we do. So our input is 10 centimeters. So we're going to say when 10 centimeters of rain, 10 centimeters of rain have fallen. It is 0.4 hours after midnight. Does it make sense? Enough. It makes enough sense. That's all I need, is for it to make enough sense. Okay, now let's jump up to letter B. So letter B is your derivative. There's your little prime saying your derivative. Now, we've been doing a lot of derivatives. We've been taking a lot of derivatives. Remember that they're slopes. They're change in y's over change in x's. And that doesn't mean anything in this question because I don't have y's and x's, but I still have inputs and outputs. So I need you to twist your brain just a smidge and talk about change in output over change in input. All right, so this 5 is still being measured in hours. That's not where the rate comes in. This 16 is now a rate because that's your derivative equals 16. So your rate is 16. The 16 is going to be measured in these units. So it's going to be measured in, my output unit was centimeters, my input unit was hours. So if I write a sentence, I'm going to talk about input and then output. My sentence is going to say at Oh, that's a 5. At 5 hours since midnight, rain is falling at a rate of 16 centimeters per hour. Okay, some things to notice here. Again, every time I say a number, I'm putting units on the end of it. If your units are not a rate for a derivative, you are wrong. Derivatives are rates, they're slopes. Slopes are rates. The other thing I try to make painfully clear for whoever is reading this sentence and grading me on it, I want them to know that I know it's a rate. So I'm going to use the word rate. The other thing I want to make sure that my reader knows is that I know derivatives are rates at an instant in time. They're instantaneous rates of change. So I use this word at. It's not between midnight and 5 hours, this much. No, it's at the instant that 5 hours have passed since midnight. English, not very good, but that's what it's saying. Okay, so letter D. Letter D is a nice little mishmash of B and C. So first we're going to take an inverse, and then we're going to take that derivative. So because that's how we read functions, right? We have our inside out. So we have f, it's being inverted and then differentiated. So that means that this 5 is now being measured in centimeters because the inputs and outputs got switched first. That was the first thing that happened. So now my input is now a 5 centimeters. My output, because my inputs and outputs got switched, this is now being measured in change in input over change in output. It's upside down. So this is going to be measured in hours per centimeter. That hurts. I know it hurts. And I'm okay that it hurts you, but I'm also kind of not okay that it hurts you. The reason it hurts you is because you take English classes. And so I hate that for you and your life, but that's why it hurts you. It's just going to sound strange, but the math of it is still true. So here we go. Again, it's a derivative, so I'm going to use my fancy word at. It's going to hurt. You ready? At 5 centimeters of rainfall. So at the instant in time when there are 5 centimeters of rain on the ground, or into the ground, I guess they would soak in. I'm going to use the word rate. So I guess I need to say the rain is falling at a rate of, I'm just going to write it, 2 hours per centimeter. If you hate it so much, you can play fraction work here. Like this is the same thing, 2 hours per 1 centimeter. So what that's saying is it takes 2 hours for 1 centimeter of rain to keep falling. If you really hate it, you can flippity-doo-dah and say 1 centimeter per 2 hours, or 1/2 centimeter per hour. Okay? All of these are the exact same thing. All of these, all 4 variations of that say the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter to me. If I were you, I would not mess with it. Like it is what it is. We're not having English teachers grade your AP Calc exams. So they're not going to get onto you for things that they don't need to. Okay. What I would like for you to do now is the rest of this is essentially a homework assignment. So you just have more sentences to write. I will finish it, and then I'm going to throw my answers when I'm done up here in your content library. I'll put them down below. So you'll have the blank copy, and then you'll have the key that you can go check when you finish or as you go, however you like to do your practice. All right. Thanks, kids. See you soon. Let me know if you need anything.